Thank you for watching today's episode of the Charlie Kirk Files. This is episode 14, Charlie Kirk and the Seven Mountain Mandate. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you are new, and smite your like button if you would, please. That helps the channel. We have Godzilla here to remind us. He is holding up a sign that says, smite thine like button, and please do so. That'll be a great thing. Okay, so let's get into what the idea of the Seven Mountain Mandate is. We've been talking about the Turning Point USA, the movement that is happening here, and I believe that this movement is supercharged right now. I believe it is going supernova. I believe there's so many things happening right now with this movement that it is insane. This thing is on a warp speed, taking over everything. So many people are joining it. I think they said last week 18,000 plus new chapter applications were given across the nation, and I believe that this is going to end up being a political movement, and not only that, it's going to end up being a spiritual movement. Many are marketing it as a spiritual revival. You have men like Mark Driscoll, who I think is disqualified from ministry, marketing this thing as some sort of spiritual, God-ordained entity. But this is nothing more than a movement that we have warned you about in the Third Adam series. And one of the things that they are promoting within this is a perversion of postmillennialism called the Seven Mountain Mandate. That's right, folks, the Seven Mountain Mandate. Now, I have friends who are postmillennial, and I believe they're good people, but I'm telling you what this is a perversion of that, meaning that we're going to take over the world by force, and the world's going to get better and better and better and better. And literally, we're going to clean up the world. We're going to make the world so spiritual that it's just going to be like a lovely cushion that the holy Jesus of the heaven can just come down one day and step foot on once we've cleaned house and once we've made the world so right with God that He is able to do so. I believe that's, I don't believe that. I believe in premillennialism, which is basically the opposite. I believe that going forward, things are going to get worse and worse. Evil men and seducers are going to wax worse and worse. And but there are people out there who are manipulating and who are warping this concept of postmillennialism in order to gain political power, promising people a utopia, promising people, as even Donald Trump put it, a golden age that we can all go into if you'll just give us the keys to this whole thing and just trust me. This is what we're going for. This is what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, that is the road to Shambhala. Third Adam 4, if you go watch that, available now for free on our YouTube channel. Let's just dive into this. We're cordoning off each section of this whole Charlie Kirk thing, which is very complicated, by the way. And in this section, we're going to talk about the Seven Mountain Mandate. Now, I want you to stay with me all the way to the end. I believe that the Seven Mountain Mandate is satanic in origin, and I will prove that to you and show you the source of why I believe that, okay? Now, let me go here to just a clip, if I can, of Charlie Kirk speaking at the CPAP, American Conservative Union, excuse me, CPAC, not CPAP, Lord have mercy. And just listen to what he says here about endorsing Donald Trump and saying we have a man who believes in the seven spheres of influence. Check this out.
Try walking around Brown, Yale, Princeton, Stanford, UCLA with that hat. But I'll tell you, finally, we have a president that understands the seven mountains of cultural influence. Finally, we have a president that understands the significance of standing. Yes, I'm going to use...
Okay, the seven mountains of cultural influence. Listen to that again.
Finally, we have a president that understands the seven mountains of cultural influence. Finally, we have a president that understands the significance of standing. Yes, I'm going to use...
All right, so seven mountains of cultural influence. That is a buzz term. When you hear about seven mountains, I want you to realize that this is not good. I want to go to just a Wikipedia article, just quick and easy, something to show you this. The Seven Mountain Mandate is a dominionist conservative Christian ideology within evangelical Christianity, particular independent charismatics groups. It holds that there are seven aspects of society that believers seek to dominate: family, religion, education, media, arts, entertainment, business, and government. It originated from a perceived divine message to evangelicals Lauren Cunningham, Bill Bright, and Francis Schaeffer to influence seven key areas of society. Initially, Cunningham framed these spheres as a framework for evangelicalism rather than cultural takeover. Over time, particularly after the 2000 meeting between Cunningham and Lance Wallnau, the 2013 publication of Invading Babylon, the Seven Mountain Mandate by Wallnau and Bill Johnson. Bill Johnson is the Bethel guy. He's Bethel Bethel Church in Redding, California. That is, the guy's a warlock. He's terrible. The movement adopted a more dominion-oriented focus, encouraging strategic, social, and political influence, has been linked to the New Apostolic Reformation and gained visibility through figures like Paula White and support for Donald Trump, with a 2024 poll indicating that 41% of American Christians believe in the Seven Mountain Mandate. The movement's theology is based on biblical passages like Revelation 17:9, Isaiah 2:2, promoting the idea that Christians should actively take control of the seven societal mountains to establish God's kingdom of earth. Adherents use spiritual warfare tactics, prophecy, and intercession to attempt to influence these spheres. Organizations such as 7M Films and Ziklag operate under its principles, and prominent political figures, including Michelle Bachmann, Lauren Boebert, are followers. Critics argue that 7MM mirrors ideological state apparatuses described by Marxist terrorists. Matter of fact, you realize Michelle Bachmann, I think, I don't know how many of her kids, but she had kids in Pensacola Christian College. I hope y'all realize that. And apparently, according to this, that she is she's in favor of this post-millennial idea of the Seven Mountain Mandate. She has given it the thumbs up, but again, she's just a politician. So, but I'm going to tell you this. This is actually this is something that is not born in evangelicalism. This is something that was born in the occult. Alice Bailey is one of the purveyors of this idea, and I'll show you this. This is a terrible graphic on Wikipedia, but this is a quote here that she gave. The hierarchical, I'm sorry, this isn't Wikipedia, this is Twitter. The hierarchy works ceaselessly and could be compared to a great army working for world upliftment. They are inspiration for the major changes being implemented in the world, yet they take no credit for the work they do. Through the process of spiritual impression, they influence those leaders and progressive thinkers whose minds and hearts are receptive to the new and forward-looking incoming ideas. Their work extends to all aspects of our planetary life: politics, education, religion, art, science, psychology, and economics. This is the concept that was given to Alice Bailey by a demon. And now I want to let me do this. I'm going to read a quote to you, and I'm going to make this. I want you to just check this out with me. I'm going to kind of do a little trick on you, and I want you just to. I want you to realize the level of deception that we're dealing with here. Okay, I'm going to put a quote on the screen, and I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to just act. Just put your thinking cap on and say, does this sound okay? Does this sound good? Okay, I'm going to read this to you. You ask the question, who would say something like this? Quote, "It is time that the church woke up to its true mission, which is to materialize the kingdom of God on earth today, here and now. The time has passed wherein we can emphasize a future and coming kingdom. People are no longer interested in a possibly heavenly state or a probable hell. They need to learn that the kingdom is here and must express itself on earth. It consists of those who do the will of God at any cost, as Christ did, and those who can love one another as Christ loved us." That sounds like something maybe that an evangelical leader would say. Does that sound? I mean, it kind of has the Christian-ish vibe to it. It has the Christianese all on it. That's kind of what it has. So what is it? Well, this is a quote from Alice Bailey, the successor to Helena Blavatsky, the Queen of New Age. That's who this is. Now, I want you to know that this is how occultism works. Occultism likes to change its label, and instead of saying, demon-worshiping Luciferian occultist, they just slap the word evangelical Christian on there and just keep saying the same thing they've always said, and people just look at the label and say, evangelical Christian, he's saying things, and I guess because he wears the label of evangelical Christian, that therefore he must be speaking something that's biblically correct. I want to tell you that is where biblical ignorance cost you greatly. And this is what I've been telling you in the Third Adam series. It's you got to actually know the Bible, because there are men out there who literally are demon-worshiping occultists, and they just slap the word Christian on their lapel and keep talking and saying the same things they've always said. And a lot of people just swallow it like some baby bird. I'm telling you, this Seven Mountain Mandate stuff is from hell. It is not born out of Christianity. It is not a Christian doctrine. It is a dangerous dominionist idea, and unfortunately, ecumenical guys like Charlie Kirk help promote this idea. Now, let me show this to you. This is from the Wikipedia page of Charlie Kirk, and there's so much here. I mean, this thing is deep. But let me just show you this. When it comes to like Christian nationalism, a lot of guys who are under that banner are not good. That whole thing is compromised. It says at first Kirk was critical of the evangelical right. Yes, he was, because now you have to realize Charlie Kirk promoted Donald Trump as a openly pro-LGBT president, and that's a good thing, and therefore we should be okay with that. He did that in about 2017 or so, 2016. That's what Charlie Kirk was saying. I can show you the receipts on that. In 2018, he told Dave Rubin, who is a homosexual, we have to have a separation of church and state, and we should support that. In 2019, Kirk met Rob McCoy, pastor of a megachurch in Ventura County, California, who convinced him that America's founding document were derived from the Bible. In 2021, Kirk told a congregation the Bible says very clearly to occupy until I come, a verse often cited by followers of the Seven Mountain Mandate to assert before Jesus returns, evangelical Christians must dominate 7 areas of society. Kirk later interviewed the creator of the Seven Mountain concept. Kirk frequently collaborated with Christian nationalist pastors and preachers, having them as guests on his show as well as appearing as speakers at their events. So, you know, that's what he was into. So there it is. Now, this is from Religion Media Center, and I'm going to read this to you. At the first lockdowns 2020, Turning Point USA aligned with charismatic worship leader Sean Foich. And by the way, that was why I'd never got involved. I ain't getting involved with anything involving Sean Foich. Okay. That's just, I'm not going to do it. Supporting the Kingdom to the Capitol tour, a series of revival-style rallies proclaiming the imminent return of Christ. Around the same time, he endorsed the Seven Mountain Mandate, a theology promoted by charismatic leaders that calls on Christians to take dominion over key spheres of society, government, education, media, family, business, arts, and religion. Pastors associated him with McCoy and Foich promote this idea. The U.S. Secretary of Defense Secretary Peter Hesgith is a member of the church associated with the mandate. You have to realize the Trump administration, although politically they may be really good and have a lot of things that we would agree with as Christians, you have to understand who these people are spiritually and who these people are theologically. You have to look at it through that lens and realize that this is not good. This is who these people are. This is another article right here from Christianity Today. Many of his followers just talked about, it's just citing the fact that he was involved in the Seven Mountain Mandate. Now, here's what I want to go. Christianity Today is not a good source, but I just wanted to point that out. Even they pointed that out. Here's where I want to go. Alice Bailey did a website, and I don't recommend you go read this stuff. You can if you want to, but it's going to be rough. Alice Bailey literally believed that the Bible is nothing more than like a hit piece on the true hero of the universe. And the true hero of the universe is Lucifer. So, you know, just how like the political right, we think that the mainstream media smears good people on the right and how literally, you know, everything's bad. They're so biased. They're so anti-conservative. The occult believes that the Bible is, in a sense, operating like mainstream media and smearing the actual good guy of the story, and the good guy of the story is Lucifer. And that's really what these people are Luciferians. That's what that is their worldview. That is their theological beliefs. Marilyn Manson's one of these guys. Alice Bailey, Helena Blavatsky, Aleister Crowley, all these guys believe that, okay? Now, that being said, she started a organization called Lucius Trust, which is Lucifer Trust. And there is literally all of her, you can go to the website, and all of her writings, everything that she said is posted on this website. Now, I want you to know that Alice Bailey, many of the things she wrote, she channeled from a demon. There was a couple of them. One of them was called Hoot Kumi, and the other one was a man named Master Djwal Khun. Okay, so basically Alice Bailey would be sitting on the porch one day, and then there's poof, this demon man, Hoot Kumi, or some sort of Mr. Djwal Khun, or whatever his name is. They're called ascended masters. We would recognize them as demons, as Christians. Well, Alice Bailey would be sitting on her porch, and then boom, all these guys would show up and tell her some things, and she would write these things down. And this is what the writings on Lucius Trust are. So here is a page from this. It's called Service of the Plan. And what is the plan? The plan is the occult takeover of the world. And so she says here, right here, helping to stimulate a sense of recognition and cooperation with the plan. The plan of the occult was to take over the world. Well, how were they going to do it? Government, including politics, law enforcement, religion, education, science, philosophy, psychology, culture, and the arts. There it is. There's your mountain mandates. That's these charismatic guys literally repackaged the occultism of Alice Bailey and said, this is Christian doctrine. And then, naive people are swallowing this up and using this concept and carrying out this agenda under the guise of the Republican Party and an evangelical organization called Turning Point USA. 7 study papers originally prepared for the arcane school students. And by the way, arcane is an occult word. You can go to your video games and look that up. And isn't there an arcane school in Skyrim or something like that? I don't know. To provide extensive quotations from Alice Bailey books, a meditation outline, and suggested questions to help students organize their thoughts. Papers vary in length from 44 to 168 pages. A curated list of addendum, whatever. Here it is. The spiritual hierarchy of the planet functions through 3 major aspects of the Department of Work, the Department of Government, the Department of Religion, and the Department of Education, with the subsidiaries, aspects of science, philosophy, psychology, culture, and the arts. These departments are reflected into and through all human affairs everywhere. Therefore, all disciples preparing for active service to the hierarchy, and by the way, the hierarchy is the occult, find their place within one of these 7 major areas of human life, either actively through direct contribution or by the building of a clear plan-imbued thought forms through the technique of occult meditation. So they're saying we need to take over these 7 areas. The 7 studies have been prepared with the intention of helping to stimulate this sense of recognition and cooperation. They contain most of the fundamental teachings given by the master Jujwal Kul and contained in the books written with the cooperation of Alice Bailey. The essentials relating to the work of each of the 7 groups have been brought together with some related material from other sources and suggested form of special mediation. And you can go look this up yourself, although I do caution you greatly to stick your head in these websites is not a good idea unless you know exactly what you're looking for, exactly where to go, and then don't dwell there. This is like living in Sodom and Gomorrah. Don't plunge your mind in here and go live in here, okay? It's not good. So with that being said, let me just play it all over again from the very beginning, what Charlie Kirk said, and realize that this is not a good idea. This is not a Christian doctrine. This is not something that's born out of church. This is something that's born out of the occult. Check this out. Back that up again.
That I'll tell you, finally, we have a president that understands the 7 mountains of cultural influence. Finally, we have a president that understands the significance of standing. Yes, I'm going to use...
Okay, so there it is, folks. You have a group that is saying, man, this is a great idea. We've got to do this. Let's take over these 7 areas of influence. It is an occult idea repackaged by the New Apostolic Reformation as Christianity, which, by the way, and I mean this when I say I've made whole documentaries proving this through the Third Adam series. The New Apostolic Reformation claims to be Christianity, but all it is a repackaging of the occult. The New Apostolic Reformation with Bill Johnson and just, I mean, there's so many guys, Bethel, Hillsong, Elevation, all these guys. Their theological views are nothing more than white magic mysticism repackaged with the Christian label so that everything is, you guys are doing great. That's the thing. Now, that's my warning to the church. This is not good. This is not your friend. This is not something to be a part of. And Donald Trump's theological views are dangerous. I mean, look who he put in the White House as a spiritual advisor. He put Paula White Cain in there. Paula White is frightening, the things that she believes. That woman is, I mean, she's a diviner. She practices divination. She talks about the visions, how she saw God face to face, and I mean that is nothing more than witchcraft. Is what that is. So that being said, That being said, the Seven Mountain Mandate is being promoted by Turning Point USA right now, and it's nothing more than a cult idea repackaged as a Christian idea, and it's pretending that it's some sort of form of postmillennialism, but it's not. It is heresy. Run away, run for your life, go watch Third Adam, and we appreciate you watching this channel. Smite your like button, or the lizard people will get you, and subscribe to this channel if you're new, and we will be doing more episodes. This is episode 14, Charlie Kirk and the Seven Mountain Mandate. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.